Welcome to It's Natural. It is Patty here. I am glad that you're here with me today. We are going to be doing a recipe. Spinach parsley, pumpkin mac and cheese. Doesn't that sound good? I'm kind of excited about this already. It's making my mouth water. All right, so let's go ahead and get started into what you will need for this recipe. So the ingredients are your choice of pasta or macaroni. If you are needing gluten-free, whatever your choice of pasta, it just needs to be 2 cups. Spinach, a half a cup, frozen or fresh. Parsley, a half a cup, fresh and cut. Pumpkin or squash, 2 cups cooked. Now, depending upon your time frame, you can get the organic canned pumpkin. It does take me about an hour to go ahead and fully do a small pumpkin. Like they're called pie pumpkins. They're about 4 inches in length. They're not that thick, probably 2 inches thick. Well, sometimes. But they're not that big. So for me, to take off the stem, to peel the whole pumpkin, to slice it up in fourths and scoop everything out, the seeds, and then cut it down into squares. It takes me for about an hour. So if you don't have time to do that, then what I do, I do it ahead of time. So if I know that I want to have pumpkin macaroni tomorrow, I'll go ahead and prepare the pumpkin the night before. Or what I do is I cut all my pumpkins on the weekends and I store them already cut in the freezer. So when I'm ready, I just have to boil them, cook them. And it only takes like 5 minutes. Really, they cook so quickly, 5 or 10 minutes. And then, you have what you need, and then you can put the rest in the freezer and keep it there. So it really depends on you and your time span. But if you want to use canned organic pumpkin, that is strictly up to you. Now, again, cheese is optional, and it's strictly up to you if you want to use that. And you can also use cream cheese. You just need 2 tablespoons. Now, the block cheese, it's really up to you and your taste for cheese. If you are a heavy cheese eater like I used to be, in which I'm no longer, I do the best I can to stay away from cheese. I don't even have a desire for any dairy at all. And that was the last thing that I have had changed in my diet. My eating regimen was cheese. And I find myself, if my body needs it, then I listen to my body. But upon occasion, it's very rare. Because I get my calcium other places, and I don't drink milk either. So, but cheese is strictly up to you, and the amount of cheese is strictly up to you. So have that in mind. You just need 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. If you want to add the cream cheese with that, perfectly okay. That's up to you. This recipe can be altered to fit your taste buds. And my taste buds are really odd, so go figure, right? So with garlic, 1 to 2 fresh crushed cloves. Depending upon the size, there might be a very small clove. And so, use your own judgment to see whether or not you need 1 or 2. Now, granted, if you like garlic like I do, I normally would put in 2, but if I'm making this for other people, sometimes people don't like garlic as much as I do, so I always stick with at least 1. Let's talk about your wet ingredients. So you're going to need almond milk, 1 cup. Now, granted, again, this is can be altered to what you have in your household, whether it's milk, cashew, oat. Um, I don't recommend soy because of the estrogen levels on there, especially for boys. Um, if you have any children that are boys, I do not recommend you giving them any type of soy, because that puts more estrogen into their body, and that's not a good thing. But almond milk, oat milk, rice milk, cashew milk, whatever milk that you want. Even if you want to use just water, which I've done in the past too, is just use water. That's perfectly fine too. You just need 1 cup. Tahini paste or tahini sauce is ground up sesame seeds, which are very healthy for you and high in protein. 2 tablespoons is approximately, I believe, 8 grams of protein for 2 tablespoons. And then your choice of oil, whether it be avocado oil or coconut oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil. I do not recommend canola oil or vegetable oil at all. If you want to use olive oil, you can, and if you know that the quality of your olive oil is not a fake olive oil, because I don't know if you all know about the epidemic with fake olive oil. So just make sure that you know the source of your olive oil and that it's actually true olive oil and it's not something else like peanut oil or whatever. So you just need 2 tablespoons of that. Now let's look at the dry ingredients. So non-fortified nutritional yeast, you'll need 2.5 tablespoons. I believe I'm going off of memory here. 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, I believe, is 8 grams of protein. And so you're just doing 2.5 tablespoons of non-fortified. I will put up here, it's probably right on over my face here, what the difference is between non-fortified and fortified nutritional yeast. There is a big difference, and you want to make sure that you have the nutritional yeast in its purest form. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. You'll need some salt, 1/2 teaspoon. And arrowroot, 1 tablespoon. Now, again, this can be altered. If you have flour or cornstarch and you want to use that instead, that's fine. Arrowroot powder is just something that I use frequently, among other things, not just in making recipes, but for my body, on topically. So it's very good health-wise. So you just want something that is in its purest form. Again, you're not going to be using flour if you're, if there's wheat, if you want wheat flour that you're not gluten-free, not a gluten-free person, then you don't, just use what you have. So it could be, whole wheat flour if that's what you want to use. It could be cornstarch. Now, I do recommend, if you have cornstarch, to make sure it's non-GMO, because corn is the highest, one of the highest GMO products in the United States, right next to soy. So you just need to watch that and make sure that it's a non-GMO product. So arrowroot powder is just a great alternative. You'll just need 1 tablespoon. You'll need 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, and 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. Now let's get started on making this, shall we? I'm like, my mouth is watering right now. I don't know about you, but you want to get a bowl and mix all of your dry ingredients together with a wooden spoon and just fold it in together. Make sure it's all nice and mixed together. Once that's done, just set your dry ingredients aside and start cooking your spinach down. Now, at this point, you're welcome. However you do and however you cook, you know, everybody's different. Personally, I don't have enough space to cook everything at once. But if you like to do that, you can. You can cook your spinach and cook your noodles at the same time. Your your noodles are going to cook down in probably about 3 or 4 minutes, and your noodles are going to cook, you know, about 10 minutes. Um, but you know, that's up to you. You can start cooking, you know, your noodles at any time that you want. I preferably do it at the end because I want everything to it still be hot. So that's the only reason why I wait. And of course, the spinach, you can put it on when it's done, leave it on the stove in the pan, it'll still stay warm. So get your blender out, and you want to put your cooked pumpkin, your almond milk, and your tahini sauce, which all your wet ingredients with your cooked pumpkin. So you're going to blend that up on low for, you know, 2 minutes. You know, just look and see how it goes. Now make sure that you did the correct measurements for the tahini sauce. Tahini sauce will make liquid thick, along with the nutritional yeast will make it thick also. So what you're going to do is, as the blender is on low, you're going to open the top of your blender and slowly add in the dry ingredients and put it all in. And this is all mixed together. Just keep it in your blender. Now at this point, you can go ahead and start your macaroni and start boiling that. Now, like I said before, it is really up to you when you want to do your macaroni. I always do it at the very end because I want it especially if you have the macaroni with the cheese, you want the cheese to melt on the hot macaronis. So go ahead and drain the macaroni or the pasta of your choice and have a bowl with a wooden spoon, and then put all of your noodles in there and then add your cheese in there. Start folding it in so your cheese will melt. And then as it's melting, you can slowly pour in the other ingredients into your bowl and start folding it in and keep on stirring it all together. Once you've got everything out of the blender into your bowl with the macaroni and cheese, you can go ahead and then add your spinach. Fold that in, get it all stirred up. Then you add your parsley, and you can actually leave a little bit of parsley for a garnish. And like I said, this is high in protein. You're getting protein from the nutritional yeast, the tahini sauce, and you're getting it from the spinach, which comes to the 2 cups of the macaroni will yield around 4 cups. It always doubles a little bit more depending upon what type of macaroni you've decided to use. And so you're looking at 4 cups at 19 grams of protein, which is pretty darn good. Now, of course, if you have a family that you're cooking this, just double all the ingredients and you'll be just fine. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me, and I am so glad to share this recipe with you. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in my next video. Talk with you soon. Bye for now.